Hi, I'm Andy the Palm Springs linguist. Today I'm going to visit the Teton County Fair just down the street from Snow King, where I'm at right now. And I'm going to ponder the questions. Am I Hispanic? Am I Latino? I truly don't know the answer, and I'm asking for your opinion. I've been confronted with forms that have asked about my racial and ethnic identities. In some forms, under ethnicity, there was a binary choice: Hispanic or non-Hispanic. You're forced to pick one or the other, and I'm truly lost, not knowing which box to check. Hablo español y un poquito de francés, pero no los aprendí de mi familia. Los aprendí en la universidad hace muchos años. Llegué a ser maestro bilingüe en español e inglés, pero he perdido mucho de mi fluidez tanto en español como en francés. Pero siempre me encanta practicarlos. I was born in Oregon, but raised in California. Now that you know a little about me, let's take into account my mom's side of the family. My maternal grandmother was born in Quebec, and her first language was French. My maternal grandfather was born in Belgium, and his first language was also French. My mom was born in Rhode Island, and she only spoke French until she was 6 years old. Now let's take into account my dad's side of the family. My paternal grandmother was born in Mexico. Her first language was Spanish. Her father, my great-grandfather, was Swedish, and her mom, my great-grandmother, was Mexican. My paternal grandfather was born in Texas. His first language was Spanish. My dad was born in Arizona, and his first language is English. He understands some Spanish, and he can speak a little bit. His parents only spoke to him in English, but when his parents spoke to each other, they spoke in Spanish. So he heard the language, but rarely needed to speak it. My dad feels that this was a missed opportunity. My grandparents had the capability of raising my dad bilingually, but they were more concerned with my dad being able to assimilate. Of course, my grandparents made their decision without the benefit of knowing modern research, which concludes that if you speak a different language at home with your child than the predominant local language, your child will become fluent in both languages. Had my grandparents spoken Spanish with my dad still would have been proficient in English, not just Spanish. Now that you know about my family, I'm going to clarify the terms Mexican, American, Latino, and Hispanic before you answer the question of whether I'm Hispanic and or Latino. Mexican and American are both demonyms, terms that refer to where someone was born or where they live. Mexican is a term of nationality. If you were born in Mexico, you are Mexican, regardless of your race and regardless of the language you speak. You can be Mexican and neither Hispanic nor Latino. For example, a person of Asian ancestry who was born in Mexico who only speaks an Asian language is still Mexican. The demonym American has two different meanings. An American can be someone from anywhere in North or South America. A woman who was born in Colombia is an American because Colombia is part of South America. The demonym American can also be a term of nationality, specifically for someone from the United States. You can be both Hispanic and Latino and still be an American, born or living in the United States. The definitions of Hispanic and Latino vary from source to source, but I will explain the essential difference. Neither of these terms is used much outside of the United States. Hispanics and Latinos can be of any race, since neither term refers to race. For example, a Spanish-speaking black woman who was born in Cuba is both Hispanic and Latina. By the way, Latina is often used as a term to refer to a female Latino. This is a convention of Spanish grammar that has spilled over into English in this context. If you think I miss an important point about either term, please let me know in the comment section below. Okay, here we go. Latino. There is not consensus as to the meaning of the word Latino. There are basically three interpretations. All of them pertain only to North and South America and the Caribbean. Therefore, Spain is excluded from all three interpretations, since Spain is located in Europe. I'll explain the three definitions from the most narrow definition to the broadest. Tell me in the comments which interpretation makes the most sense to you. The most narrow interpretation of Latino is anyone from a Spanish or Portuguese speaking area in the Caribbean or North or South America, south of the United States border. This excludes English-speaking areas such as Belize and Jamaica. This also excludes French-speaking areas such as French Guiana and Martinique. However, this does include areas such as Portuguese-speaking Brazil or Spanish-speaking areas such as Mexico, Guatemala, Cuba, and Argentina. Here is another interpretation of the word Latino. First, let's look at the word itself. The word Latino translates into Spanish as Latin. Romance languages are languages that evolved from Latin, such as Spanish, French, Portuguese, and Italian, among others. The word Latino is short for Latinoamericano, the Spanish word that means Latin American. Latin America includes all areas where Romance language is spoken in the Caribbean and the Americas. This interpretation includes French-speaking areas such as French Guiana and Martinique, Portuguese-speaking Brazil, and Spanish-speaking areas such as Mexico, Guatemala, Cuba, and Argentina. However, this excludes English-speaking areas such as Belize and Jamaica. Where does this leave Quebec? The predominant language spoken in Quebec is French. Just like Mexico, Quebec is in North America and speaks a Romance language. While nobody questions that Mexico is part of Latin America, there is disagreement over whether Quebec is. Some argue that Latin America only applies to areas south of the US border, and others argue that even though Quebec speaks a Romance language, the predominant language in Canada is English, and therefore Quebec doesn't qualify. Puerto Rico is part of the United States, a country whose predominant language is English, yet unlike Quebec, Puerto Rico is unquestionably part of Latin America. Still, others keep the question of Quebec simple. They believe that Quebec is an area that speaks a Romance language and is located in the Americas. Therefore, it qualifies. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. There is yet another interpretation of Latin America. Some interpret a Latino as being anybody from any country south of the US border regardless of language. This is the one interpretation that includes English-speaking areas such as Belize and Jamaica, in addition to all the areas that speak a Romance language. In contrast to the various interpretations of the word Latino, the word Hispanic is pretty straightforward. The word Hispanic is related to the word Spain. It refers to someone who came from an area where Spanish is spoken, such as Mexico, Cuba, Peru, the Dominican Republic, Chile, and Spain. Someone from Argentina is Hispanic because Spanish is spoken in Argentina. But someone from Brazil, which is also a South American country, is not Hispanic because most Brazilians speak Portuguese, not Spanish. While the term Hispanic usually refers to someone from a Spanish-speaking country in Latin America, it is not restricted to Latin America. Someone from Spain is also Hispanic, since Spanish is the predominant language of Spain. You can be Hispanic, but not speak Spanish, as long as you or your family comes from a Spanish-speaking area. I know what you're thinking. Aren't Hispanic and Latino mostly referring to the same people? Yes, there is a tremendous amount of overlap between people who are Hispanic and people who are Latino. The majority of Latinos are also Hispanic and vice versa. Here are two examples of exceptions. People from Spain are Hispanic since Spanish is spoken there, but not Latino since Spain is in Europe, not the Americas. Brazilians are not Hispanic since Portuguese is spoken there, but they are Latino since they are in an area of South America where a Romance language is spoken. Is this clear as mud? Are you confused? Good, so am I. Let's go back to the original questions. Am I Hispanic? Let's do a quick review of my grandparents, and then you can decide whether I am Hispanic or not. Maternal grandmother, born in Quebec. Maternal grandfather, born in Belgium. Paternal grandmother, born in Mexico. Paternal grandfather, born in Texas. Wait a minute, hold on. Yes, my grandfather was born in Texas, but his first language was Spanish, and his family had been living in Texas back when it was part of Mexico. My grandfather's family didn't cross the border. The border crossed my grandfather's family. So, does Southwest Texas count as a Spanish-speaking area? Does only the current border count? Or does the prior border count for families who have lived there for generations? I don't know. You could easily say that my grandfather was indeed Hispanic, since his parents were born in Texas when he was still part of Mexico. But what about his son, my dad, who was born in Arizona and only speaks a little Spanish? Is he Hispanic? And what about me? I was born in Oregon and raised in California and didn't speak Spanish until I learned it in school, but then went on to become a bilingual teacher in Spanish and English. Am I Hispanic? Okay, let's look at the other question. Am I Latino? Maternal grandmother, born in Quebec. It depends on your definition. In most definitions, the answer is no, but some would say yes, since Quebec is a Romance-speaking area in the Americas. Maternal grandfather, born in Belgium. Paternal grandmother, born in Mexico. Paternal grandfather, born in Texas. Again, does it count that my grandfather's Spanish-speaking family had been in Texas back when it was part of Mexico, long before Texas became an independent country and then part of the United States? I don't know. So now that I've provided you with all the information, both about the terminology and about my personal history, what do you think? Am I Hispanic? Am I Latino? Let me know in the comment section below. I make videos about language and linguistics, showcasing travel destinations, including my hometown of Palm Springs, California. Click like and subscribe right now to not miss any past or future episodes. Here are the Teton County Fairgrounds just a couple days later. The magic is gone, but I hope you enjoy the Teton County Fair, and I look forward to reading your responses in the comment section below. I'm Andy the Palm Springs linguist, and my next adventure is taking me to Yellowstone National Park, so I'll make a video there as well. Make sure to look out for it. Until next time, I'm off to the pool.